You are the handsome boy. Perfect hair, confident smile, natural charm. On paper, you should be winning at life. But if you are Steve Harrington, being handsome is where the advantages end. This is the story of why it actually sucks to be Steve Harrington. Let's start with the obvious irony. Steve Harrington has the best hair in Hawkins, the kind of hair people would kill for. Yet somehow he keeps getting rejected, dumped, or emotionally sidelined by girls he genuinely cares about. Nancy chooses Jonathan. Robin turns out not to be interested in him at all. Every time Steve opens his heart, it ends in disappointment. For a guy who looks like he should be the main romantic lead, Steve is constantly reminded that looks don't guarantee happiness. Then there's his role in the group. Steve starts off as the popular king of high school, but fast forward a bit, and what is he doing? Babysitting. Not occasionally, not as a joke. Babysitting becomes his full-time job. While others are saving the world with big plans and smart ideas, Steve is driving kids around, keeping them alive, and making sure no one dies on his watch. He's not the leader, he's not the strategist, he's the responsible adult in a group of reckless geniuses. And let's talk about monsters. Steve doesn't have superpowers, he's not a trained soldier, he doesn't even have a proper weapon most of the time. Yet he keeps fighting demogorgons, demodogs, bats from the upside down, and creatures that are literally designed to kill, with a bat, sometimes with nails. He gets beaten, bitten, slammed into walls, and nearly killed more times than anyone else. And still, when danger shows up, Steve is the first one running toward it. No hesitation, no backup plan, just pure courage mixed with terrible luck. And after all that pain, what does he get? Almost no credit, which brings us to friendships. Steve has one true consistent friend, Dustin Henderson. And even that relationship is chaotic. They argue, they insult each other, they fight over who's right. Dustin is smart, Steve is emotional, they clash constantly, but despite the fight, Steve always shows up. He listens, he protects, even when he's exhausted, scared, or clearly in over his head. Steve gives more than he gets, and he does it without complaining. Now here's the part that really hurts. Steve is always the backup plan. When someone needs muscle, they call Steve. When someone needs protection, they call Steve. When things go wrong, Steve is expected to fix it. But when it comes to emotional support, recognition, or long-term happiness, Steve is usually left behind. He watches others grow, succeed, fall in love, and move forward, while he stays stuck in the same place, trying to figure out who he's supposed to be. And yet, this is where the story changes, because despite everything, Steve Harrington keeps choosing to be good. He grows. He goes from a selfish popular kid to one of the most selfless characters in the entire story. He learns to care deeply. He learns to protect without expecting anything in return. He learns that real strength isn't about being admired, but about being dependable. Steve becomes the shield, the guy who stands between danger and the people he loves. He doesn't need superpowers. He doesn't need praise. He just needs to know that everyone made it home alive. So yes, it sucks to be Steve Harrington. You get rejected, you get hurt, you get overlooked, you fight monsters that should kill you, you babysit kids who outgrow you, you give more than you receive. But in the end, Steve Harrington is proof that being a hero doesn't always look glamorous. Sometimes it looks like bruises, broken hearts, and bad luck. And sometimes the person who suffers the most is the one holding everyone together. That's why it sucks to be Steve Harrington. And that's also why he's one of the best characters in Stranger Things.